I gotta quench my thirst a little bit with
My
favorite drink, by the way. Always have it on hand.
Wow. You
Diet
did
Pepsi.
big.
You like that?
I appreciate that so much.
What is up, guys? Nick Major here with the Spout Podcast, and today we've got an interview with musician, social media influencer, actress, and entrepreneur Addison Rae. That's going to be coming up here in just a second, but also, I must say, the VMAs were last week in New York, so we're going to be recapping that night. Plus, Jane's Addiction had to abruptly end a show when singer Perry Farrell seemingly punched guitarist Dave Navarro in the middle of a song, so we're going to try to figure out what the heck that was all about. And Taylor Swift, she endorsed Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for president following the Harris-Trump debate, a move that the former President Trump was not too stoked about. Ooh. All right, guys, a quick reminder that last week my chat with Halsey dropped, so be sure to check that out as well right here on the Spout Podcast. Here's a little clip from that chat. The great impersonator, it is, what if I debuted in this decade? What if I debuted in this decade? It's so cool. How did this concept come to be, and did it come while you were already making new music, or did you go in knowing, hey, I want to do a decades-inspired album?
I didn't know right away. I started writing songs and then, I kind of started attributing them to different musical influences where I was like, wouldn't it be cool if this one sounded like REM, or wouldn't it be cool if this sounded like Fleetwood Mac, or and then they kind of all started falling into different decades of artists and, groups that had inspired me to become a musician, a lot of my musical discovery. I was thinking a lot about fate. I'm coming up on 10 years of, since my debut album came out.
We are the new Americana. High on legal marijuana.
Which is crazy. I cannot believe it's almost been 10 years. That's insane.
I know.
And similar to Halsey, we spoke with Addison just before she headed to the VMAs last week, again in New York, which I will be doing that full recap of after the interview. So if you are familiar with Addison Rae, she blew up on TikTok over the pandemic in 2019, 2020. She currently has nearly 90 million followers on TikTok, the fifth most followed account on the app. She first got significant fame from her dances on there. And side note, she has been competitively dancing in competitions around the country since she was 6 years old. And in the years since her social media success, she's pursuing a number of creative avenues, which have been so cool to see. In 2021, she released her debut single, Obsessed.
And I said me too. I'm obsessed with me as much as you. Say you die for me, I die for me too.
And starred in the Netflix film He's All That, which was a remake of the 90s film She's All That. Last year, she dropped a 4-song EP called AR, which had some Charlie XCX collabs on it, super sick. And she starred in the slasher film Thanksgiving by one of my favorite directors. And this year, she signed to Columbia Records, where she recently dropped her latest single, Diet Pepsi. So without further ado, here is my interview with the very talented and lovely Addison Rae. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Nick.
I'm Addison. Nice to meet you.
So let me get this kicked off, Fred. I gotta quench my thirst a little bit with my favorite drink, by the way. Always have it on hand.
Wow. You
Diet
did
Pepsi.
big.
You like that?
I appreciate that so much.
But speaking of Diet Pepsi, you dropped a new song recently. Diet Pepsi is the name of it. It is the chill vibe. It's a great jam. Talk to me about this song.
I wanted everyone to hear it and want to dance to it and still feel like they're in their own world kind of thing, but can dance with everybody.
Yeah.
And the lyric is obviously Diet Pepsi. So that was a little moment that I thought was just too good to ignore.
Summer love, sexy, sitting on his lap, sipping Diet Pepsi.
And I've just been really happy about the reception of it all and people connecting with it. It's been really, really amazing.
And there's a great music video to go along with it. There's a
music video is kind of like my view of the world of it all. So I always like to be like, oh, just go watch the video, because it truly is such a look into how I view the song and how I feel when I listen to it.
So you're dropping a song now. I think the last stuff that you came out with was the EP. So what was it about now? Why was this the time? What inspired this moment? I know you've been busy acting because you've been doing a lot of stuff, but why was this the time for some new music?
I don't know. It felt like the right time. And I think I have recently had a really great idea and vision of what I want my music to sound like and feel like and visually be like. And it wasn't a better time. I think there couldn't have been a better time for me, honestly. I think it was just, the time was now. And I made the song with my girlfriends, and we felt like there was something really special and magical in it that just couldn't wait to be out.
That's great. So you kind of feel that it represents a new direction in your music, sort of?
I guess so, but I mean, it's all me, there's a through line, and I think it's just visually and conceptually very me. And that's what I like to say, is coming. People are always like, oh, is this a new era of the sound or the music? And I think it all feels very me. And to me, maybe that will be, perceived in different ways, but I think it's all very me.
So you're out in New York right now, because I think you're getting ready to do some presenting tomorrow at the VMAs.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's my first time at the VMAs, so I'm nervous. It'll be fun.
Dude, how is it to know that there's going to be so many names watching you in person presenting up on a stage?
Well, I'm trying not to think about it.
Oh, now we got you thinking about it. I apologize,
right,
but
now I'm
it's
nervous.
crazy.
No. It'll be fun. I feel like everyone in the room is so understanding of just the whole thing. Like nobody's too harsh on anybody, I feel. So it'll be nice and easy, and I'll get to see a lot of my friends, which will be really fun.
There's so many artists that are up for awards this year. Are there any that you are hoping to run into or that you would freak out if you met?
Do you even know who exactly is all going to be there? I have no idea, but
I just know like Eminem, Billie Eilish, Chappell Roan, Paris Hilton, Lil Nas X, Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah. They're all names that are up for awards. I don't know who's actually going to show up though.
Well, I love Sabrina, and I know Sabrina, and I would love to see Sabrina. I would love to, especially after Short and Sweet came out. It's an incredible album.
Yes, it is.
Now he's thinking about me every night. Oh, is it that sweet? I guess so.
Obviously, Chappell would love to talk to her. And honestly, I love talking to anybody that wants to talk. So I would talk to all of them and yeah, just catch up,
So acting wise, I got to know what you're up to, because you did Thanksgiving last year.
I used to love this town. Until what happened that night.
That was with Eli Roth, who's one of my favorite directors of all time. One of his oldest movies is Cabin Fever, and that got me like hooked onto him. I loved this movie. It was just the slasher that I needed that filled my void, and it was fantastic.
Thank you so much. Eli would be very appreciative of that as well.
What's coming up next with you? I know that weren't you filming a movie with like Ryan Reynolds in it or something like that?
Yeah, I just worked on that movie, and there's not much out about it yet, but soon. But that's coming, which is really exciting. And if you like comedy, you know Ryan Reynolds.
I think it was called Animal Friends was the name of it. And gosh, there's a star-studded cast on that. Just so everybody knows, it includes Jason Momoa, Vince Vaughn, Aubrey Plaza, Ryan Reynolds. Directed by Peter Atencio, who did a lot of Key and Peele episodes, which I am such a fan of. So I'm excited to see what comes from that and how that one turns out. So that's great.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited to see how it turns out too.
You're a big Disney person, right?
Mm-hmm, I love Disney.
So I'm a pretty into Disney person now. I have nephews, and my sister loves taking them to Disney stuff. So I've been on Disney cruises now.
I've never been on a cruise. That must be crazy.
Dude, I went on one last year, and I'm going on one next year. I'm going to Disney World for my first time, and then we're going on a Disney cruise.
Wait, that's amazing. This is an unpopular opinion, and I don't know, people feel types of ways about it, but the first Disney I ever went to was Disney World in Florida. And so I kind of have a bias, and I think it's the best, and it's like massive, and they have Animal Kingdom. So Disney World is amazing. You're going to love it.
So I've never been there before. What do I need to check out at Disney World? I'm going for 2 days, and I feel like that's not enough time. But what do I have to see?
If you manage it properly. I think definitely Animal Kingdom is really nice. I feel like if you can try to go everywhere and just bring lots of water and comfortable shoes, you can probably make it work. But it'll be really fun regardless, because I think 2 days is actually a good amount of time.
Okay, good. I'm excited to check it out. Do you have? I've been to Disneyland so many times, so I know that one so well. Have you ever been to Club 33 for food?
No, what's that?
It's like a private little restaurant inside of Disneyland that you just go up this little hidden door, and you can have dinner there. And I've done it
Gosh,
twice.
I've never heard of that. Well, I feel left out.
What's your go-to food at Disneyland?
I like the pickles in the bags.
Dude, I get those every time I go there. There's one right near Cars Land area in California Adventure, this little shop. I always go there and get the pickle.
Oh, good. The pickles are. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Right when you walk in.
Yes.
Yep.
We've probably gotten pickles from the same damn place. I love it.
Probably so.
I know your birthday's coming up in October, so you must be someone who loves horror movies, I would think.
You know what? Actually, I'm not a big fan of horror movies. It's actually shocking. I know, because I did Thanksgiving, and I know you're clearly a horror fan, so I'm sorry. I'm sensitive.
It's okay. Do you have any favorite Halloween movies, though, that you always watch from the season, or you're not even that big a fan of the season?
Like Halloween Town. It's like a Disney movie.
Oh, yeah. I know Halloween Town. That's great.
Marty Cromwell's family can't be normal. Why? Because her grandmother's a witch. Totally. Halloween Town. Saturday, October 17th on Magical World of Disney.
And maybe like The Nightmare Before Christmas type of vibe.
Oh, yeah. I feel like a classic. So what would be your dream type of movie role, or like your dream type of genre, something you haven't been able to experience yet?
Maybe like a coming of age. That would be, yeah, I think I would like that. Something that feels like, really intentional and a little deep. I would kind of enjoy. I haven't really done anything like that because I've done, the horror, which was kind of like a horror comedy moment.
Yeah, it was. That's Eli Roth.
And then my first one was a rom-com. So yeah, I think just something that can continue pushing me to grow and change and be able to transform a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's great because your first movie that you did, He's All That, compared to Thanksgiving, they were so different.
What are you doing?
Okay, let's not freak out.
What did you do it to me? We're over, okay? What?
You're still alive.
Oh, snap.
So different.
Yes, and I think they show such difference in your abilities, but also such growth from project for you. So it makes me super excited to see this Animal Friends movie, to see what you're picking up in that
Same.
one.
I can't wait to hear what you think about it. And I appreciate it.
So what do you have coming up next? The song is here. Is there more music coming? Is there going to be some shows? I think I saw you hit the stage with Charlie XCX back in June or July or something, but what's coming up for you?
Just working, writing, continuing to see the visions through and creating. I feel like just keeping busy creating and not stopping the flow of energy that I feel like is coming through. So yeah, hopefully lots and lots of more exciting things. But I'll keep you updated when I have more that is solidified.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking the time to chat. I feel like we got to cover some good stuff, and I'm so excited that Diet Pepsi is out. Everybody can check it out. I have an entire liter of Diet Pepsi. I need to somehow figure out what to do with now, but I think it's great. I think it's great promo. So is it troubles when you use a name like Pepsi? Is it easy to get away with that in the song name?
I actually don't know the ins and outs of it all, but I think it's technically fine normally, right? Like it's public.
Okay.
No, it was weird on my end. It was good. We were all good. Got it cleared. We figured it out. But I'm like, I think in general, I think it's pretty like, yeah, you can maybe, get away with it for the most part.
Addison Rae, you got Diet Pepsi out now for everybody to check out. Have a blast at the VMAs, man.
Thank you. Thanks for talking.
Of course. Have a good one.
Woo! All right, that's the chat. Thank you so much, Addison Rae, for chatting with me. I really appreciate it. You looked awesome at the VMAs, and now I encourage all of you to grab a giant bottle of Diet Pepsi and chug it while listening to Diet Pepsi by Addison Rae. All right, everybody, real quick. Today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp, BetterHelp, and this is a service that I cannot recommend enough because therapy is awesome. So I first began going to therapy a few years ago, and it was at a time where I just felt I wasn't in a good headspace. I felt a bit lost and uninspired, but it shocked me how talking to someone, how talking to a professional about me, my feelings, and my life really helped me organize my goals and get me into a good headspace. And it's something I have never regretted doing, and I'm still heavily involved with to this day. I know it can be intimidating, the thought of reaching out to someone who you don't know and opening up. But if you find yourself struggling at any capacity, I just can't recommend enough to just give it a try. You will not regret it. We all owe it to ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves, but life can get pretty crazy at times, especially nowadays. With the way that we have smartphones and social media just always in your face, always in your mind and brain. But BetterHelp makes the therapy process so easy. It's all online. You don't need to leave your home. You don't need to go drive somewhere in person and wait in a line or in a sitting room. You can simply message, call in, or video chat your sessions, and a quick questionnaire will help you match with the perfect therapist for your own needs to help you learn positive coping skills, how to set boundaries, help empower you to be the best version of yourself, and more. And again, from first-hand account of how important therapy really is, it's just wild. It's such a topic that I am such an advocate for because I've seen the improvement that it has both had in my life and my friends and family's life. There's a reason why so many people openly speak up about the benefits of therapy. So give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/spoutpod because you're listening to the Spout Podcast. Do that today and you will get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/spoutpod, and you will get 10% off of your first month. Let's all be looking out for ourselves. We have one life and we should definitely make sure we are spending the most of it that we can in our best place. And sometimes you need a little extra help to make that happen. And BetterHelp is here to make that an easy process for you. So shout out to BetterHelp for providing such an accessible service to everybody out there. Let's all be looking out for ourselves. We have one life and we should definitely make sure we are spending the most of it that we can in our best place. And sometimes you need a little extra help to make that happen. And BetterHelp is here to make that an easy process for you. So shout out to BetterHelp, and let's get back to So shout out to BetterHelp for providing such an accessible service to everybody out there. The 40th MTV Video Music Awards took place last week in New York, and what a show it was. Eminem kicked off the night with a performance reminiscent of his year 2000, 24 years ago, performance at the VMAs, which I will never forget. He won 2 more VMAs last week, making him the most VMA wins of any male artist. No surprise that Taylor Swift took home the Video of the Year award for her collab with Post Malone on Fortnite. This is the 3rd year in a row she has won the award. And of course, Chappell Roan. She continues to dominate the music world and took home the award for Best New Artist. She also performed in full medieval castle knight attire to her song Good Luck Babe, and it was so sick and there was fire and I loved it. Halsey also did a rad performance of her new song Ego, playing a garage show to the packed house. This is Halsey's latest track off her upcoming album The Great Impersonator, which drops October 25th. And yes, you can hear Halsey chat with me about the new song in our Spout Podcast interview, so go check it out. Even cooler stuff, LL Cool J was joined by Flavor Flav and Chuck D of Public Enemy for a throwback performance of Going Back to Cali and Bring the Noise. And a quick look at some of the wins from the night. Sorry to repeat any that I've said already, but just to quickly recap, Video of the Year was Taylor Swift. Artist of the Year was Taylor Swift. Song of the Year, Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso. Best Alternative Track, Benson Boone, Beautiful Things. And VMA's Most Iconic Performance goes to Katy Perry with Roar. Can never forget that one. Check out the full list online, and I gotta say, my favorite part of the night was Megan Thee Stallion, who was hosting the show, attempted to pay homage to Britney Spears' 2001 VMAs performance, where Britney had like a live snake wrapped around her, but Megan Thee Stallion acted just about how I would, and she needed that snake taken off her as soon as possible, and I feel you, girl. That looked horrifying. All right, Taylor Swift, I mentioned this at the top of the show. She is fairly quiet about politics, but following last week's Trump-Harris presidential debate, the singer announced in an Instagram post that she would be endorsing the Harris-Walz campaign, in part saying, I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in the country if we are led by calm and not chaos. And accompanying Instagram story post included a link where people could go and register to vote, and that link to that website got over 400,000 clicks in 24 hours, so that's pretty amazing. She also made a comment about the importance of voting during her VMA acceptance speech. So I do like to see that. Whoever you're voting for, everybody should get out and embrace our freedom to vote. In response to her endorsement announcement, former President Trump took to his own Truth social media and posted, I hate Taylor Swift, which came just a few weeks after Trump shared several AI-generated images of Swifties for Trump pictures, believing they were authentic. Let's jump over to Jane's Addiction now. This past Friday in Boston, Jane's Addiction, they were playing a show that was quickly and unexpectedly shut down. During their set, vocalist Perry Farrell, he walked over to Dave Navarro while he was shredding on the guitar, and he punched him. tried to hit him back a second time as well. Security or other guys from the band, they helped break it up, and the remainder of the show was canceled. Sunday night's show in Bridgeport, Connecticut was also canceled due to the ordeal, and it's now unfortunately been revealed that the entire tour has been canceled. In a statement from the band on Instagram, they said, in part, we want to extend a heartfelt apology to our fans for the events that unfolded last night. And the band also said that Pharrell is experiencing some mental health issues, and they hope he finds the help that he needs. In case you are unaware, Jane's Addiction, they blew up in the 90s as one of the biggest alternative rock bands. And they broke up, I think, in 2010. So it's been 14 years since they played a show together. So people were stoked about this. So I hope they're able to hit the road soon and give everyone that show that they deserve, give themselves the tour that they deserve. But most importantly, I hope they're able to resolve any issues within the band, because I do hate to hear that. So Jane's Addiction, you never know. Maybe we'll see them on the road in the coming months or next year or so. All right, all you TV fans out there, you had the Emmys last night. I am a fan of TV, so it was a night for me on the Emmys. This was actually the second Emmys award show this year. The first one took place back in January, following a delay because of last year's writer's strike, which I'm guessing you all remember that. But to take a quick look down some of the winners from the night, we've got two of my favorite shows taking home some serious awards. The Bear and Baby Reindeer. Oh my gosh, I can't recommend these shows enough. But to quickly run through the list of some of the many winners, for Best Drama, we have Shogun. For Best Comedy, Hacks, which surprised a lot of people who thought The Bear was bound to win. I'm not going to lie, myself included. I haven't seen Hacks though, but now that has confirmed I need to check it out because I love me my comedy, and I appreciate the Emmys recommendations. Best Actor in a Comedy Series was Jeremy Allen White. That was for The Bear, so I'm happy to see that one. He is so talented. Also, you need to watch Shameless. If you've never seen it, it's the show where Jeremy Allen White's career really blew up from, and oh my God, it is amazing. Best Limited Series went to Baby Reindeer. This was a Netflix show inspired by real events, and it is absolutely wild. Watch it now if you haven't yet. It is only 7 episodes, and you are so very welcome for me telling you about this. Let's keep on with the movie talk, the entertainment talk. Let's see how movies are performing at the box office. Let's take a look at this weekend's box office breakdown. I always just like to see which movies are looking to be profitable, which ones are looking like they might flop, which, as I always say, in this day and age, you never know, because so many of us like sitting home and watching TV now from the comfort of our couch with our dogs in our laps. And as a reminder, a movie has to make twice its budget to be considered profitable, because while it's in theaters, the studio gets about half the ticket sale, and then the theater gets about half the ticket sale as well. So because of that, the studio's got to make double the budget so they can fully bring in the full cost of the film. I think that all makes sense. Number 1 at the box office, second week in a row, is Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Jenna Ortega. Second week in a row that this movie has been in the number 1 spot. Of course, a follow-up to Tim Burton's original classic hit, Beetlejuice. It brought in $51.6 million this past weekend on a budget of $100 million. Oh, this thing is profitable with a worldwide total of $264.3. Very happy to see it, because I'm always rooting for you, Tim Burton, and you seem to do this one justice. Everyone seems very happy with it, especially the fact you used so many practical special effects, which are not seen very often nowadays. Speak No Evil came in at number 2. It is based off of the 2022 Danish psychological thriller film. This one stars James McAvoy. It brought in $11.5 million on a $15 million budget, and although it's not quite there yet, it has now made $20.8 million worldwide. I think James McAvoy is going to help make this top that $30 million mark. So we're going to jump the gun and assume that Speak No Evil is going to be profitable. Number 3 at the box office, been in the top for quite a while now, Deadpool and Wolverine. Of course, the latest Marvel film starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman teaming up together in what has proven to be quite the delight amongst moviegoers. This past weekend, after many, many, many weeks in theaters, it brought in an additional $5.2 million on its $200 million budget for a worldwide total of $1.35 billion, with a B, billion dollars. Of course, that means that this is now the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. Props to Ryan Reynolds. Props to everybody who has made that one such a success. Rounding out your top 4 at the box office in the U.S. this past weekend, we have Am I Racist?, the documentary comedy film starring conservative political commentator Matt Walsh. It brought in $4.7 million on its $3 million budget, so it now has a worldwide total of $4.8 million, and while it's not quite there yet, we will just be nice and say, I think it's going to be profitable. All right, here's what I'm really excited to be sharing with you guys. The newest season of The Circle, it is on Netflix. It's my favorite reality show out there. It is truly so much fun to watch. It puts all of these strangers living together in a massive apartment building, but they all live in their own apartment within that building. They can never leave their room, and they can only communicate to each other through text via the TV, pretty much like a messaging or instant messenger type thing. They can vote each other out. They form alliances and spend a lot of time by themselves. Some people set up profiles for themselves. You use your picture, you write things about you, you don't lie at all, easy peasy. But some other people decide to use the pictures of friends of theirs, or in some cases celebrities, and then they pretend to be that person to catfish themselves throughout the game. But at the end of the day, everyone has the same goal, which is hopes of winning the cash prize at the very end. And this season, what makes it fun, what makes it exciting for me, and has me rooting for a catfish like never before is my friend Andy from the metal band We Came as Romans. He has his picture being used as a catfish by his friend Heather, and it is so fun to see every time Andy's beautiful face pops up on that TV screen. So I don't like to pick favorites or teams, but I do have to say, Heather and Andy, oh, I'm rooting for you guys so hard. So catch season 7 of The Circle out now on Netflix, and if you haven't watched the show yet, I am so jealous that means you have 7 seasons worth of The Circle to catch up on. So check that out. Hope you guys have enjoyed all of this. I am, once again, Nick Major with the Spout Podcast, and big shout out again to Addison Rae for taking some time to speak with me. We've had some really awesome chats here lately on the Spout Podcast, from Addison Rae to Halsey, and the week before that we had Jelly Roll, so I can't stress enough. Subscribe to Spout Podcast. We'll be chatting with all your favorite celebrities. You never know who's going to be next, so be sure to hit that subscribe so you're up to date with everything, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.